Hi! Welcome to Luxury in Moderation, where we appreciate the finer things in life without going overboard. I just got back from the Louis Vuitton store and I have 2 boxes to open with you guys. This has been a very long-awaited unboxing and I'll get into why I had to wait so long to bring these pieces home, but I'm so excited, so let's just get into the unboxing. So this is the first bag. It's very wide and heavy, so let's bring out the box. It's as big as my body, and they literally just wrap this up. And I know they spent a lot of time wrapping this up very beautifully. So this is a very, very special piece, which was personalized for me, and I will go through the entire process, so hopefully this video won't take too long. But inside here, it is a rectangular piece, so no, it is not a bag. I'm sure a few of you can guess what it is right now. Then we have the Louis Vuitton dust bag, and then we have a super special trunk. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's finally home. And this is a beautifully painted piece. So I will go through all of the sides and all the beautiful work that my artist has done. I will also link his info below because I think he's amazing, and we'll get into all of that. And first, let me describe what's on the trunk. So this trunk is like a medium-sized trunk. I plan to use it for jewelry, but you can obviously put whatever you like in it. You open it with the mechanism like that, very similar to a Pochette Métis and most of their trunks. And then on the inside, it's a very secure latch. I have the rose ballerine lining. They have a few color choices for that. I think this is just my receipt. So just to let you know, this is called the Coffret Tresor 24, and the price that I paid, which when I bought it was about 2 months ago, $5,300 USD and then plus tax. So inside of the trunk itself, it does come with this key. So this key is supposed to be unique to this lock, so no other LV key should be able to open this lock. Now I will demonstrate how to lock it and unlock it. So right now it is unlocked. You just press this slider on the side and it opens up. Now in order to lock it, I put it in and turn it counterclockwise a full circle around. And now when I try to slide it, it won't slide to the right. So now in order to unlock it, I just stick the key in clockwise, 1 full circle, and now it's unlocked again. If I ever lost this lock, they could still make me a new one if they had the serial number of the trunk, but basically no other key is going to be able to unlock this, so it's like an actual, like, one-of-a-kind trunk. And then they have the leather piece that you're supposed to hang your key off of, and then this trunk comes with a, I don't know what this is called, like a divider piece, also in the same lining. So if I wanted to, you know, stack some things on top of it and it could lay on top, or if I just wanted to leave it at the bottom. You have the Louis Vuitton Paris tag on there, and it says made in France on the bottom. And then going into just the details of the trunk a little bit more, you have the lining on all of the edges, and then on all of the corners you do have hardware, so I still have all of the plastic on mine I have to take off. The side is a little bit more narrow, and then I also have some artwork on the back. So let's get into what the artwork is and why I think this piece is absolutely perfect. So you can see that I have a lot of flowers on my trunk because I love florals. I love going to gardens and just taking photos of all these flowers that I'm never going to do anything with. But I absolutely love pink as well. That's why you see a lot of pink color on all the flowers. And basically I asked for a whole bunch of different kind of flowers to be represented on the trunk. Let's start with the top, and basically this is a ribbon with a peony in the middle and then a few side flowers. And then there's also some lace detail. And I will show a close-up of this, but basically this is my wedding belt. So I had made a belt as an accessory for my wedding dress by myself using just some fake flowers, some lace from my sister, and then I chose to, you know, just get a big thick ribbon from Michael's, and I hot glued everything on. As I was thinking of what I wanted on the trunk, I knew that I wanted flowers of some sort, and as I was ideating and brainstorming, I was like, oh, well, you know, I still love my wedding belt and there's flowers on that. Like, what if we, you know, had my wedding belt on it? And originally, I had wanted the wedding belt to be on the side here and kind of have the ribbon flowing on to the sides. But in actuality, when I was discussing that plan with my artist, I think the, you know, the canvas on the side is too small for him to actually paint something really big, and that's why we decided to put it on the top. So as a person who's not like overtly sentimental or like obviously sentimental, I didn't want to put like my name on it anywhere or my initials. I wanted it to be a little bit more timeless, in addition to also subtly paying tribute to a very wonderful and beautiful day in my mind, and, you know, bringing back memories of that, as well as, you know, this wedding belt makes me think of my sister because of the lace was from her. Actually, some of the flowers were from her as well, so it just is sentimental in that way without being so obvious as to like write the date of my anniversary on it. I also thought it was appropriate because there's actually little pearls on the lace, which were, you know, like little plastic pearls. It wasn't real things or anything. But because I do intend this to be a jewelry box, you know, there's that little piece of the jewelry on it to showcase and a nod towards the purpose of this trunk. So you can see the real lace with the painted lace. And then on this side, the lace is actually a different lace. And then I thought maybe a saying would be a nice tribute as well to just, you know, what this box represents. I did choose a saying in French, joie de vivre, which means joy of life in France. And I did a lot of thinking about, you know, what words I wanted on my trunk, if I even wanted words at all. So in the French culture, there is definitely a culture of the art of living, which is joie de vivre. It's very closely related to the joy of living, and I thought that that suited this purchase and this piece very well, because we all know that luxury is not a necessity. It is part of enjoying life, and it brings us joy. When I see this box, I want to remember that, you know, not only is it a materialistic joy, but it also includes all the other joys, you know, just, you know, pausing to smell the roses, or taking a deep breath of coffee or fresh linen, like all of those small things as well that are not materialistic are wrapped up in this idea of the joy of living. And that message is again something that I thought suited this piece very well and would be a timeless message that, you know, I could always look on this trunk and remind myself if I'm getting too caught up in either the materialistic stuff or work stuff. And then on the front, we have a couple different flowers here. This is a Gerberia daisy, and then another like daisy or rose. And then on the side, we have a gorgeous rose. On the back, we have more of those daisies, which is absolutely beautiful. You can see he also brought the ribbon detailing over, so it's like it's falling over the edge. And then the final side is also, you see the ribbon detailing here. And these are actually some Japanese camellias that I asked him to paint and represent on the trunk as well. So I think he did a really wonderful job in that. So I absolutely love the flowers on this piece. Look at the depth and detailing of all of the different petals. For me, this piece is more about the artwork than the trunk itself. I would actually be fine if he covered up a lot more of the monogram. I think that was a little bit of a foreign concept to him. Like when I asked him to like put a bunch of flowers like all over the place, he ended up making the felt a little bit smaller than what I had imagined, because I think he did want to, you know, leave some of that LV canvas as, you know, an LV piece, which I think is what most people like. You know, they like having the LV trunk and having that monogram on it. So here you can see the details of the trunk and how it is constructed. This is the trim on all of the edges. It just repeats LV in a brown leather. I actually just learned that this is not leather and it's actually something called lazine. So I learned that from watching a YouTube video, which I will also link below. It has a lot of wonderful information about LV trunks and super informative, so I really recommend that you guys watch that. Then you have the hardware studs all the way around so that this trim is very, very secure. You have larger studs on the corners. They say LV on them. And then here, right next to the opening, you have another hardware piece that reinforces and ends the trim. This on top, you don't see that piece, you just see the end of the trim here. To be honest, I am not a huge fan of this brown trim. I don't think it looks particularly beautiful, but it certainly has a very particular LV look to it. Now, on this side, which is the left side of the trunk, you do see 2 additional studs, and this would be the sliding mechanism for when you open the trunk. And that's what I mean by this piece of hardware right here. It is pretty stiff, so it will hold the trunk open. Once you get to the lower angles here, I think the weight of the top of the trunk will naturally close it. But at the largest opening, it's not quite 90 degrees. So it's not like this lid is 90 degrees to the bottom of the box. You can see that there's a slight angle here, which just keeps the opening nicely open there. And then you have a couple studs, 4 on each side here, to keep the lining in place. You don't have those studs on top. The covering for the inserted piece, there is a Vachetta leather tab for you to help pull it up. And then in the bottom here, oh yes, that's what I was looking for. I do have another key for the lock, so every trunk should come with 2 keys. It does say Louis Vuitton on it. The inside of the trunk is basically just the suede lining. I feel like, you know, this isn't perfect exactly. This particular corner has indented a little bit more. Maybe they put a little bit more glue on this side. I do see here that there is some sort of scuff on the interior lining. I don't know what that line is made out of, but honestly, for these things, I am not very fussed. I feel that, you know, these trunks are handmade, so they are not going to be machine perfect. And I am going to use this trunk to put my jewelry in anyways. It's not like I want to look at perfect rose ballerine lining like that's not the purpose of this box, is to just look at the pink lining. So those things will be covered up, and I probably won't even notice it when I go ahead and use this box. To give you a little bit more detail on it, you can see that where the box actually hinges, which is right here on this line, there's no trim here, so the trim stops right here, and then there's some of that vachetta leather right there where it will flex and actually open. So this will probably show some creases over time, but again, for me, I think that luxury is supposed to be functional, so you know, it shows that it's been loved and used. I think I'm gonna cut this video in two because it's just, I still have to open this box and there's a lot I want to talk about in terms of Louis Vuitton trunks. So let me just wrap this video up by saying that even though the process took longer than I originally thought it would, it was still a wonderful process to get this trunk personalized. In terms of the personalization aspect of it and working with me to achieve my vision for this very special piece, that was absolutely perfect and what I believe luxury should be. So I definitely recommend, if you want a really special customized piece, to consider the Louis Vuitton trunks. My artist really made me feel special and even invited me to the VIP room to take a photo when I went to pick up the trunk. So they were all about customer care, and I really felt really special throughout the entire process. Definitely stay tuned for part 2 because I'm going to go into a little bit more about the personalization process as well as open this bag right here. If you like this kind of content, please remember to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending your precious time with me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!